Okay, so in yesterday's class, I had asked you to solve the second part, and the second part of the question was you had to find out the position of the particle when its velocity is zero. So that condition was represented by this integral equation where integration from velocity zero point 0.6 to integration from position zero point 0.6 to x at v equal to 0 minus 103.8811 by x is equal to integration from velocity 15 to 0 v dv. So you had to solve this. So what is the right hand side, Mahi? Tell me.
So the V value,
No, right hand side. Evaluation of this integral.
so it's minus 112.5
112
minus.
Yes. And what is the left hand side? Means what does the left hand side turn out to be? So it is going to be minus 103.8811. Do you agree with me? 8811
Yes, sir.
into bracket log to the base e of x, and you have limits 0.6 to x. Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
So if you substitute this here and then you get the value of x at v equal to 0 as how much?
So 1.772 feet.
1.772 feet. So as the unit of length we are using it as feet, so the velocity becomes 0 at v equal to 1.772 feet. Okay. I hope others also have solved the problem. Please type your response in chat box if anyone else has got the same answer. If not, we will have to proceed today, but please respond so that we cross check the answer. Has anyone else got the same answer? Type your response in chat box. Yes, sir. Okay. So Krishna has got the same answer. So fine. Now let us go ahead with the next problem. Mahi, can you read this problem for me?
Yes, starting from x equals to 0 with no initial velocity, a particle is given an acceleration a equals to 0.8 under root of v square plus 49, where a and v are expressed in meter per second square and meter per second respectively. Determine a position of the particle when v equals to 24 meter per second. B, the speed of the particle when x equals to 40 meter.
Okay, so this is now the third class of problem that we are solving in rectilinear motion. The first class was where a was given as a function of time. Do you remember that?
Yes, sir.
Then second question, problem number 43 is a is given as a function of position. And now we have the third part where third problem where a is given as function of velocity. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we are going to solve this problem by certain technique. That's all right. But first thing, do you observe the narrative of the problem? A and B are expressed in meter per second square and meter per second respectively. ऐसे क्यों दिया है माही? What do you think? Why it has been specified? The system of units.
Sir, to let us know that A is acceleration and V is velocity. Maybe.
That's okay, but we already know that its acceleration is length per second square and velocity is length per unit of time. So why the specific unit has been given?
Sir,
So bit digress, but you have to understand this. What is the unit of acceleration? Tell me, Mai.
meter per second square.
So what is the unit of left hand side here? Meter per second square. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Now look at the right hand side. So you have square root of v square. What is the unit of v square? Tell me.
So meter per second whole square.
So meter square per second square. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
And if I take the square root of that, what is the unit that I get? Meter per second.
Yes, sir.
So देखो लेफ्ट हैंड साइड में एक्सेलरेशन का यूनिट है मीटर पर सेकंड स्क्वायर, राइट हैंड साइड में जो यूनिट आता है क्वांटिटी का दैट इज मीटर पर सेकंड. सो दिस इक्वेशन इज डायमेंशनली नॉन होमोजेनियस. क्या बोलते हैं इस इक्वेशन को?
नॉन होमोजेनियस.
Dimensionally non-homogeneous. Therefore, whenever you are dealing with dimensionally non-homogeneous equations, you must specify the system of units in which you have to work. So this was bit of a digress, but You have to understand that you have to work in the specified system of units. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, A is given as 0.8 square root of v square plus 49. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Uh, As acceleration is given as a function of velocity, we are going to stick to this form. Acceleration can be written as v dv by dx. We have proved this. Do you remember?
Yes, sir.
So v dv by dx is equal to zero point 0.8 square root of v square plus 49. Now collect all the terms that involve velocity on one side and collect the terms involving x or position on other side. That is called as variable separable form. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So v divided by zero point 0.8 square root of v square plus 49 is equal to dx. This is the variable separable form. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Now I can integrate left hand side with reference to velocity. I can integrate right hand side with reference to position. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let us look at what is given. Starting from x equal to 0 with no initial velocity. इसका मतलब क्या है? When x is equal to 0, it is given. When x is equal to 0, v is also equal to 0. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
This is given in the problem. And what you have been asked, find out the position of the particle when v is equal to 24 meter per second. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
तो अब जरा देखो, I am going to integrate left hand side from starting velocity that is 0 up to 24 meter per second. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
24 meters per second. And I am going to write it as v dv upon 0.8 into square root of v square plus 49. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
This must be equal to corresponding to zero velocity. What is the position corresponding to zero velocity? Position is 0. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Then corresponding to 24 meter per second, what will be the position? It will be position corresponding to velocity equal to 24. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So I am calling that as x24. That means position when velocity is 24 meter per second. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
And this is dx. Now, can you find out what is the value of left hand side? We have integration available on the calculator. You can directly do that and tell me the value. Alpha x divided by 0.8 square root of alpha x square plus 49, that is
Side is
complete.
22.5.
Pardon?
So left hand side is 22.5.
Just give me a minute. X divided by 0.8 divided by, just give me a minute. Yes, left hand side is 22.5. I do got the same answer. So therefore 22.5. This must be equal to, now what is the integration of dx? X. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
And this is from 0 to x24. Happy?
Yes, sir.
So what is the integration? What is the right hand side? Upper limit minus lower limit. So it is going to be x24. So I directly got x24 as 22.5 meter. So when velocity is 24 meter per second, the corresponding position is 22.5. So have we answered the first part?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now what is the second part? Quite easy. सेकेंड पार्ट कैसे लिखने वाले हैं हम? द स्पीड ऑफ द पार्टिकल व्हेन x इज इक्वल टू 40 मीटर. आर यू विथ मी?
Yes, sir.
So I am now going to integrate left hand side part from where to where? When velocity is 0 and when the speed becomes equal to the speed at x is equal to 40 meter. So I am going to call it as v at x equal to 40. Happy?
Yes, sir.
And how do I write this? V dv divided by, bolo, 0.8
Under root of
square root of, yes, tell me,
square plus
v
49.
square upon 49. Very okay.
Yes, sir.
Chalo. This must be equal to integration from when velocity is 0. What is the value of position 0? And when speed at x is equal to 40. What is the position? Position is 40. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
And mind you, this is in meter. So imagine if in the problem this 24 was given in some other unit than meter per second. You have to first convert that into meter per second because you have to stick to these units. Remember that. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
अगर यहाँ पे 24 मीटर पर सेकंड के जगह 60 kmph दिया होता तो आपको क्या करना पड़ता है? 60 kmph हैज टू बी कन्वर्टेड इनटू मीटर पर सेकंड फास्ट. अगर ये x4 में 40 मीटर के जगह 2000 mm दिया होता तो you will have to take it as x is equal to 2 meter. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
You have to work in the specified system of units. Very important. Fortunately, here everything is given in the consistent units, so there is no question of worrying. So now 0 to 40, and what is this? Dx. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So what is right hand side? Tell me. Right hand side will turn out to be 40.
40.
Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
40. And what is the left hand side? Now for left hand side, you will have to find out integration of v upon square root of v square plus 49. So how do you go about that? Tell me. How do you find out the integration of v upon square root of v square plus 49? Tell me. Mahi.
So I'm thinking.
So integration v dv upon v square plus 49 is what you need to find out first. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
हाँ चलो बोलो कैसे करने वाले हो? इसका सॉल्यूशन क्या है? That point 8 is sitting here that we will evaluate later on, but we are trying to solve this. Anyone can you tell me? अच्छा, what is the formula of integration that you know? किसके लिए formula पता है? Do you know the formula for 1 upon square root of x plus a?
Yes, sir.
What is that formula? Tell me. What is integration of 1 upon square root of x plus a? Can anyone tell me this formula? Dx. Chalo. If you are not able to remember, I am also not able to remember, but I know that formula exists. So Google search it and tell me what is the formula.
tan inverse.
हाँ बोलो. Tan inverse. Tan inverse.
X by a.
हाँ, is that correct? Tan inverse x by a. Is it right? Somebody please confirm if it is right. One minute. Let me confirm. Integration of अरे कोई तो कंफर्म करके बताओ मुझे. 1 minute. So v can be solved directly on the calculator on some versions of calculator. So we will take that. V at x is equal to 40 is, yeah, tell me.
38.36.
38.36 meter per second. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Let me check if I can do it on my calculator. So integration 0 to v alpha x divided by 0.8 divided by square root of in bracket alpha x square plus 49 bracket complete. This dx alpha equal to 40. Shift solve. So it is not supported on my calc. Anyway, so look at the version of your calculator. Otherwise, there is no other go than we have to solve it somehow. Are you with me? Or there is another way. Another way is doing it by trial and error. For example, I will go on adding the values here. For example, if I substitute the upper limit as 10, let me do that. So lower limit is 0. If I substitute upper limit as 10, I get this integration as 6.5, but I want it to be 40. So I will substitute next value. So instead of 10, I will go and substitute 30. If I substitute 30, the value is 29.75. Now I will substitute 38, let us say. So if I substitute the upper limit as 38, I get the value on calculator as 39.54. So if I substitute 38.36, probably means this is how you will iterate. If I substitute, then by trial and error, you can find out this value. That is the another way of doing it. If on time, just like me, if you do not remember the integration, the on time way is doing this trial and error. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now we have solved both the parts of the problem. It involves some mathematical complicacy in the sense you will have to remember all the formulae for integration. But that's not the worst part, because even if you don't, then you can use the trial and error method, and you can, within few trials, you will be able to quickly judge the approximate value of V. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now let us go ahead. Now we are going to start with a different type of problem in this domain, and that is called as something called as AT-VT diagrams. AT-VT and XT diagrams. So what is AT diagram? Acceleration versus time diagram. VT diagram is velocity versus time diagram, and XT diagram is position versus time diagram. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Now just go through this problem statement and tell me what, just read this problem statement, and then we will start solving this problem. Yeah.
A particle moves in a straight line with a velocity shown in the figure. Knowing that x equals to minus 540 feet at time t equals to 0, A. Construct the AT and xt curves for 0 less than t less than 50 seconds, and determine B. The total distance traveled by the particle when t equals to 50 seconds. C. The two times at which x equals to 0.
Okay, so quite a lot of things are being asked. The diagram that is given to us is velocity versus time diagram. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
And we have been asked about the questions. We have been asked questions about the displacement versus time diagrams. Do you agree with me? What is the first question? You need to plot acceleration versus time diagram. Are you with me? And displacement versus time diagram. So therefore, from velocity versus time diagram, you have to plot these two diagrams, and also you have to determine the other two things given in statement B and C. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Now, tell me, you have to understand one thing. This velocity time diagram, acceleration time diagram, and position time diagrams, these diagrams can look nonlinear, but they are describing the motion of a particle along a straight line, because these are not path diagrams. These are diagrams of evolution of velocity, acceleration, and displacement as a function of time, not as a function of position. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So therefore, these diagrams may be non-linear in nature, but you have to understand that essentially the particle is moving along a straight line. So it is exhibiting a rectilinear motion. So how does a particle move? It can move forward or it can move backward. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
How do we plot these diagrams? So all your vehicles do have speedometers, right?
Yes, sir.
So you can observe the speed as you move on the vehicle. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Let us say I am moving from point A to point B along a straight line. And I keep on observing my velocity of a vehicle during this traverse. And I am also keeping track of time. So can I now plot a graph of velocity versus time that describes my motion along a straight line or vehicle's motion along a straight line? Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
And this precisely is the velocity time diagram that is drawn here. So particle is moving along a straight line and the observer is observing the velocity of a particle at various instances of time from t equal to 0 seconds to t equal to 50 seconds. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
And that velocity time diagram has been given here. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Now, another point that I want you to notice is at t equal to -1 second. That means when the observer started observing motion, uske pehle 1 second. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
The motion may have been prevalent at that time, but we were not observing the motion, and therefore the motion parameters like velocity, acceleration, and displacement are not known. T equal to 0 is not the commencement of the motion. You have to understand. T equal to 0 refers to the instant when observer started observing the motion. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So with this understanding, now let us do some digress. Let me take digress. Digress. And let me draw a typical curve where y is a function of x. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So on y-axis, I am plotting the value of that function, and on x-axis, I am plotting x. For better understanding, now let us take this as sine function. So let me say y is equal to 10 sine x. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Now this is a digress. This is not the part of the solution you have to understand. But this is very much essential to understand all the steps involved in solution. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Anna. So now y is equal to 10 sine x. What is the period of this function? Tell me. What is the period of this function?
0 to.
Sine 0 is 0. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So at x equal to 0, y is going to be 0. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Sine pi, is it 0?
So 10. So 1.
Sine pi,
So sorry, 0.
not 90. So sine pi. So pi is the pi is the period of this function. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So I will mark that period here. So it is x is equal to pi, x is equal to 2 pi. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Then x is equal to 3 pi. Just give me a minute. X is equal to 3 pi, so on and so forth. So as the value of x is pi, 2 pi, and 3 pi, this function assumes value 0. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So I plotted those values here. Now, what is the maxima of this function? When does this function become maximum?
So 90.
At pi by 2. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
At 3 pi by 2. Happy? At
Yes,
5
sir.
pi by 2. At all these locations, this function becomes maximum. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
And it during this, the values, they fluctuate between what? They fluctuate between +1 and -1. Happy?
Yes, sir.
So does that function look something like this? Happy?
Yes, sir.
And what is this value? This value is +10. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
And this value is -10. Happy?
Yes, sir.
This is how the function looks like. Now let us look at the details of this function. Now tell me, what do you mean by dy by dx? बोलो, dy by dx का मतलब क्या है?
So differentiation of function y with respect to x.
So what is the differentiation of this function? Tell me.
So 10 cos x.
Yes, 10 cos x. So mathematically this is fine. Dy by dx means 10 cos x. But now I am going to ask you a question. What does it mean graphically? What is dy by dx graphically? So if I calculate dy by dx at this point, it refers to the slope of tangent drawn to the curve at that point. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
If this is the tangent drawn at that point, and if I calculate dy by dx at that point, it refers to the slope of the tangent drawn at that point. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Uh, so we understood what is the meaning of differentiation of a function. If I differentiate dy by dx, if I differentiate y with reference to x, and if I evaluate the value of differentiation at x is equal to x1, it gives me the slope of the tangent drawn to the curve y as a function of x at x1. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So let me write it down. So observation number 1. What is the observation? Slope of tangent drawn to function y equal to f of x at x is equal to x1, x equal to x1 is dy by dx evaluated at x is equal to x1. Do you agree with me? That's what I mean to say.
Yes, sir.
Now tell me, at x is equal to pi by 2, x equal to pi by 2, what is the value of dy by dx? 0, because where cos pi by 2 is 0.
Yes, sir.
And is slope of the tangent drawn at x equal to pi by 2 0? Yes, because it is horizontal line. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Similarly, जहां जहां स्लोप ऑफ द टेंजेंट 0 है, वहां वहां dy by dx की वैल्यू 0 आनी चाहिए. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So we have understood the geometrical or graphical interpretation of slope of tangent drawn to y equal to f of x at x is equal to x1. Now, second question. What is integration of this f of x or integration of this y? This is also called as y. Y is function of x, right? Dx from x is equal to x1 to x is equal to x2. What is it? Tell me. कैसे लिखूं इसको? यही फंक्शन है. So what is the integration of sin x? Tell me. Minus cos x. Do you agree with me? So
Yes,
it is
sir.
minus 10 cos x. And as I am carrying out the integration from x1 to x2, I will have to write it as x1 to x2. So it is going to be equal to minus 10 cos x1. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Plus 10 cos x2 cos x1. Sorry. This is x2, this is x1. Upper limit minus lower limit. सही है?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But what does this quantity physically mean? What does this integration physically mean? Do you know anything about it?
No, sir.
अरे कैसे possible है? चलो, let us perform an exercise. This is straight line. Do you agree with me? And
Yes,
it
sir.
is at an angle of 45 degree. Chalo, I am going to call this as y. I am going to call this as x. Can you tell me the expression for this straight line? It passes through origin. So इसका slope कितना है बताओ मुझे. 45 डिग्री है तो tan 45 is 1. So slope is 1. So y is equal to x is the equation of this line. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
हाँ, क्यों y इक्वल टू x है? क्योंकि tan 45 which is slope of this line is 1. So y is equal to x. Y equal to mx plus c. C is 0 because line passes through origin, and y is equal to mx. M is 1. So this is the expression. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now tell me, from 0 to 2, if I plot this line from x equal to 0 to 2 units, and if I integrate y dx from 0 to 2, what do I get? Chalo. What is y? Y is x itself. So what is the integration of x dx? X square by 2.
Yes, sir.
Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So x square by 2 within the limits 0 to 2. Chalo, bata. Tell me, how much is that? 4 by 2?
Yes, sir.
That is 2. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
For time being, tell me what is the area under this curve?
So, 4.
How?
No.
Half into 2
Sir, 2.
into 2, because this side is also 2. Do you agree with me? 45 degree है ना, तो ये अगर 2 है तो ये side भी 2 हुआ. So half into 2 into 2 is how much? 2.
Sir, 2.
हाँ. So area under this curve from x is equal to 0 to 2 is how much? 2. And what is the integration of y from 0 to 2? It is also 2. Are you
Yes,
with
sir.
me? First observation. Second observation. Chalo, I am going to give you another graph. This is the line. देखो, at x is equal to 1, you have this ordinate as 10. At x is equal to 3, you have this ordinate as 20. So now, can you tell me the equation of line? इस line का equation क्या है? बोलो. Now y is equal to mx plus c is the expression. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Where c is going to be the y-intercept. So what is the value of c? If I extend this line, this is c. Happy?
Yes, sir.
So how much will be c? Chalo, batao. There is a rise of 20 units within 2 units. x direction में 2 units का rise हुआ, तो y direction में 10 units का rise हुआ है. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So 1 unit का rise corresponds to how many rise in y direction? 5. 5 units. So therefore what must be c? It must be 15. देखो, ये distance 1 है ना?
So it should be 5.
How? देखो, 1 to 3, the rise is 10. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
हाँ, तो 2 यूनिट x डायरेक्शन में आप बढ़ते हो तो y डायरेक्शन में कितने यूनिट बढ़ते हो? 10 यूनिट्स. आर यू विथ मी?
Yes, sir.
हाँ, तो 1 यूनिट अगर x डायरेक्शन में बढ़ोगे तो y डायरेक्शन में कितने यूनिट से बढ़ोगे? 5 यूनिट से. सो 1 यूनिट अगर x डायरेक्शन में घटोगे तो y डायरेक्शन में कितने यूनिट से घटने वाले हो? 5 से. हाँ, एंड इट इज 5. आई एम वेरी सॉरी, यू वर राइट. Correct. So this is c is 5. Are you with me? And what is the slope of the line? Slope of the line is delta y upon delta x. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So what is delta y? 20 and 10. So 10. And what is delta x?
2.
3 minus 1. So 2. So therefore it is 5. So what is the expression of line? 5x plus c, but c is 5. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
This is the equation of line. Now you integrate this from 1 to 3. Integration of 5x plus 5 from 1 to 3. Tell me how much is that? 5x square by 2. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Plus 5x. And this has to be integrated from 1 to 3. So when I substitute 1 here, what am I going to get? 3 3s are 9, 9 5s are 45, 45 by 2. Do you agree with me? Plus 15 minus 5 by 2 minus 5. Happy?
Yes, sir.
So 40 by 2 minus 10. 40 by 2 plus 10. तो कितना आ रहा है बताओ?
Sir, 30.
30. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
ये 30 आया ना. Now tell me what is this area? This is the trapezoid.
Yes, sir.
Trapezoid means sum of parallel sides. Sum of parallel sides into height. So height is how much? 2.
T.
What is the sum of parallel sides? 10 plus 20, 30. So it is, this area is going to be sum of parallel sides by 2 multiplied by height. Do you agree?
Sir.
And this is 30 unit. This is also 30. So area between 1 to 3, x is equal to 1 to 3. ये कितना हुआ? 30 units हुआ. So what is my conclusion? What does integration give me?
Area under the curve.
Integration gives me area under the curve. I proved this to you. Are you with me? So
Yes,
graphical interpretation of integration from x1 to x2 is area under the curve from x1 to x2. Happy?
Yes, sir.
So this is the second point that I am going to note. What is the first point was about differentiation. What is graphical interpretation of differentiation? Y is equal to f of x. Then dy by dx at x equal to x1 gives me slope of tangent drawn to y equal to f of x at x equal to x1. Happy?
Yes, sir.
And what is the interpretation of integration? So if I integrate y with reference to x, where y is a function of x, from x is equal to x1 to x2, it gives me area under y as a function of x. So area under yx curve from x1 to x2. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
And this is with sign. What do I mean by sign? So dekho, if you integrate this equation from 0 to pi, these two areas are going to get balanced and they are on opposite sides, so their sign is different. Opposite. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So integration of 10 sin x from 0 to pi should give me 0. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Because area on positive side under the curve matches with area on negative side under the curve from 0 to pi. Happy? So 0 आना चाहिए. आता है कि नहीं? देख लो यहाँ पे. I am taking the integral from where to where? 0 to pi. Do you agree with me? So this is pi. So if I substitute cos of pi, so what is the value? Cos of pi is 1. So it is minus 10. If I substitute, lower limit is 0. So cos 0 is 0. Sorry, cos 0 is 1. So minus 10 plus 10, 0 हुआ. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So what I mean to say is you have to understand and keep in mind very firmly these two geometrical interpretations, graphical interpretations. क्या interpretations है? If there is a curve y as a function of x, and if I draw tangent to this curve at x equal to x1, the slope of the tangent is given by dy by dx evaluated at x equal to x1. Happy?
Yes, sir.
And what is the second interpretation? If there is a curve y as a function of x, and if I calculate area under the curve from x equal to x1 to x equal to x2, that area is given by integration of y from x1 to x2 with reference to x. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So keep this in mind, and now we are going to solve the problem. Now tell me what is the relationship between velocity and acceleration? dv by dt is equal to acceleration. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
What is the relationship between displacement and velocity? dx by dt is equal to velocity. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
ओके, सो अब जरा मुझे बताओ, इफ आई ड्रॉ पोजीशन वर्सेस टाइम डायग्राम, देखो आप, पोजीशन वर्सेस टाइम डायग्राम, पोजीशन वर्सेस टाइम डायग्राम, then dx by dt is what on this diagram? Can you tell me? If position versus time diagram is something like this, so at x is equal to x1, what is dx by dt? Dx by dt is nothing but slope of the tangent drawn at that point at t equal to t1 to this dx by to this xt diagram. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
And that is nothing but velocity at time t1. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So how do you obtain velocity time diagram from displacement time diagram? तो displacement time diagram में हर एक पॉइंट पे tangents draw करो, उस tangents के जो slope है, those slopes are nothing but velocities at that time intervals. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
अब reverse function जरा लेते हैं. So if I were to find out position at time t using velocity time diagram, तो क्या करना पड़ेगा? अब उल्टा करना पड़ेगा. I need to integrate. I will have to write dx is equal to v dt. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
And if I integrate both sides, I get change in position as integration of velocity time diagram. इसका मतलब क्या है जरा देखो. What is the change in position? Change in position कहना है. It is not the position itself. What is the change in position from x is equal to 0 to x is equal from t equal to 0 to t equal to 10 seconds? तो क्या करना पड़ेगा? I need to calculate area under velocity time diagram. Why? Because it is integration v dt from 0 to 10 seconds. But integration is nothing but area under velocity time diagram. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So area under the velocity time diagram from t equal to 0 seconds to t equal to 10 seconds is going to give me change in position from x is equal to 0 second, t equal to 0 second to t equal to 10 seconds. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So अब जरा यहाँ पे ध्यान दो. Let us try and use these relationships to solve the problem. तो इसमें ये जो construct AT and XT curves बोला है ना, वो हम सबसे लास्ट करेंगे. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
सबसे पहले हम क्या करने वाले हैं? The first thing that we are going to do is we have to calculate the total distance traveled by the particle when time is equal to 50 seconds. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Total distance travel किया हुआ calculate करना है. So digress is complete now, and we are now solving the problem. So let me write down solution. तो मैंने कल ही बताया था, टोटल डिस्टेंस अगर हमें कैलकुलेट करना है तो सबसे पहले क्या करना पड़ता है माही?
Sir, time when velocity, distance when velocity equals to 0.
Yes. So we have to find out the time instant when velocity has become 0. So how many places are there from t equal to 0 seconds to t equal to 50 seconds where velocity has become 0? Only one.
Yes, sir.
Look at the velocity time diagram. At only one place, you will find that the velocity has reversed its direction. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Velocity started dropping down here, but it did not reverse the sign. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So sign reverse कहाँ पे किया है? सिर्फ एक टाइम पे किया है. And what is that time? Can I first find out what is that time? कैसे फाइंड आउट करना है बताओ मुझे. फर्स्ट वी हैव टू फाइंड आउट द टाइम एट विच द वेलोसिटी हैज बिकम 0 और टाइम एट विच द वेलोसिटी हैज रिवर्स्ड द डायरेक्शन ऑफ मोशन. आर यू विथ मी?
Yes, sir.
हाँ, तो कैसे करना है? सो यहाँ पे दो ट्रायंगल्स दिख रहे हैं आपको. दिस इज वन ट्रायंगल and this is another triangle. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
इन दो ट्रायंगल्स में ये एंगल तो सेम है, and this angle is also same.
Yes, sir.
So by AAA test, angle test, these two triangles are similar triangles. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So now what I am going to do is I am going to call this distance as t. ये distance को हम क्या बोलेंगे? T.
T.
Are you with me? So tell me how much is this distance? This is 10. This is 26. So this total time is 16. So this distance has to be equal to 16 minus t. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
देखो यहां से यहां तक का डिस्टेंस कितना है, मतलब यहां से यहां तक का टाइम कितना है? 16 seconds. Out of that, this time is t. So this has to be 16 minus t. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
And by similarity of these two triangles, can I write this? 60 upon t, because this is 60. Happy?
Yes, sir.
60 upon t must be equal to, this distance is 20. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
20 upon 16 minus t. Happy?
Yes, sir.
So let me write down that 60 upon t must be equal to 20 upon 16 minus t. Solve this on calculator and tell me the value of t.
So 12.
So t turns out to be 12 seconds. तो इसका मतलब क्या है? What is the instant at which velocity becomes 0? 12 plus 10. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So at t is equal to 22 seconds. देखो t is equal to 22 seconds. Velocity becomes equal to 0. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now how do we calculate total distance traveled? बोलो. Total distance traveled कैसे calculate करना है? So first of all, we will have to consider the period 0 to 22 seconds and then 22 to 50 seconds. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
हाँ. तो देखो कल के प्रॉब्लम में जैसे किया था वैसे ही हम करने वाले हैं. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आई एम गोइंग टू कंसीडर we'll complete this problem and then we will stop for today. So first of all, I am going to consider t running from. Mind you, this time is now not. Don't confuse it with this time. Are you with me? Don't confuse it with this t. Or otherwise, if you are going to face difficulty, I will call that as t star. 1 minute. Let me call this as t star. So it is 16 minus t star. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
And then what is the similarity of triangle that we write? 60 upon t star and 20 upon 16 minus t star. That gives me the value of t star as 12 seconds. So what is the time t at which velocity becomes 0? It is 22 seconds. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
T star हमारा आया है 12. So that means 10 plus 12, 20, at 22 seconds when observer started observing the motion, उसके बाद 22 सेकंड के बाद velocity 0 हुई है. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So we are now looking at time t equal to 0 to 22 seconds. And then we are going to look at time t is equal to 22 to 50 seconds. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Now in these times, I am going to calculate change in position. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So what is the position at x equal to 0? Tell me. Problem में दिया है it is minus 540 feet. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
It is given that when t was 0, the particle was at minus 540 feet from origin. So x0 is minus 540. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Feet. I now need to calculate. I need to calculate now x22. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Position at t equal to 22 seconds. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
And how do I calculate that? तो उसके लिए मुझे क्या यूज करना पड़ेगा, दिस रिलेशनशिप dx by dt is equal to v. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
dx by dt is equal to v. इसका मतलब क्या है जरा देखो, dx is equal to v dt. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
नाउ कैन आई इंटीग्रेट बोथ दी साइड्स, मैं दोनों साइड्स को इंटीग्रेट करता हूं. आई इंटीग्रेट लेफ्ट हैंड साइड. आर यू विथ मी?
Yes,
एंड
sir.
आई इंटीग्रेट राइट हैंड साइड. कहां से कहां तक इंटीग्रेट करना है? फ्रॉम x इज इक्वल टू -540 feet. Why -540 feet? Because when the motion commenced, the position was 540. Happy?
Yes, sir.
2x at 22 seconds. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
And when motion commenced, what was the initial velocity? दिया है क्या? Nothing is mentioned. Initial velocity is given as 60. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So at t equal to 0, the velocity was not 0. Velocity is already 60 feet per second. You have to understand that. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
हाँ, so यहाँ पे लिमिट्स क्या होंगे? ये 60 फीट पर सेकेंड से 0 तक. बिकॉज at t equal to 22 seconds, velocity became 0. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
हाँ, ये इंटीग्रेशन मुझे करना पड़ेगा दोनों साइड का. नाउ कैन यू टेल मी व्हाट इज द इंटीग्रेशन ऑफ लेफ्ट हैंड साइड?
Sir, x
x
with limit x to
x22 x22
plus 540.
minus 540. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So that is nothing but x22 plus 540. Happy?
Yes, sir.
And this must be equal to this integration. But what is this integration? This integration is nothing but area under velocity time diagram from t equal to 0 to 22 seconds. Ye area. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So how do I write this area? So how much is this area? Tell me. 60 into 10. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
60 into 10. Chalo, plus. Bolo. How much is this area? Half.
Sir.
Half into 60 into 12.
Yes, sir.
ये 12 है ना. So half into 60 into 12. So I am going to write that. Plus half into 60 into 12. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Now calculate what is the value of x22. Yes, tell me.
So 1260.
1260
60.
unit
So
feet.
it's in.
Feet.
Yes, sir.
But we are not interested in position as such because हमें क्या करना है? Our focus is clear. Change in position from t equal to 0 to 22 seconds plus change in position from t equal to 22 to 50 seconds. Addition of modulus of both this is going to give me total distance traveled. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So what is the change in position? So what is delta x in 0 to 22 seconds? Tell me. So it is nothing but x at 22 seconds. That is 1260 minus x at 0 seconds, which is equal to minus 540. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So what is the change in position from 0 to 22 seconds? Calculate and tell me.
So 1800.
1800. So 18000 is the total distance traveled or is the change in position during x is equal to 0 to 22 seconds. Quickly now, from t equal to 22 to 50 seconds. क्या करना पड़ेगा मुझे? So tell me, what is x22? We have already calculated x22. कितना है वो?
1260.
1260 feet. 1260 feet. Now, integration x22 to x50. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Position at t equal to 50 seconds. Dx. This must be equal to AD. This must at x is equal to 22. What is the velocity? 0.
0.
And at x is equal to 50 seconds. What is the velocity? Tell me.
So -5.
-5. So this is -5 v dt. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Now what is this integration? It is x50 minus x22. But what is x22? X22 is 1260. And what is this area under the curve? What is this integration on right hand side? It is nothing but the area under the curve from 22 to 50 seconds. मतलब कौन सा area? ये पूरा वाला area. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
How do I write this area? तो सबसे पहले पार्ट आएगा ये वाला. This is rectangular area. कितना है एरिया? क्विकली बोलो. 5 multiplied by 4. Why 4? Because this is 50. तो 46 to 50 मतलब 4. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So 4 into 5 is the first thing that I have to write. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
बट ये एरिया निगेटिव साइड में है ना, तो उसको निगेटिव बोलना पड़ेगा. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
हाँ चलो. Now what about this area? ये एरिया कितना है? This is 20. This is 5. So 20 plus 5, 25 divided by 2. Sum of parallel sides by 2. 12.5. 12.5 multiplied by this 5. Why 5? 41 and 46. इसमें गैप कितना है? 5 का. So 5 multiplied by 12.5. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
And again this is negative area. So I am going to write it as -5 into 12.5. Happy?
Yes, sir.
चलो, तो ये एरिया मिल गया. Now what about this rectangular area? This is the third one. This rectangle. कितना है वो rectangular area? Tell me. 26 to 41 मतलब कितना? 15?
Yes, sir.
So 15 multiplied by 20 but minus 20 because ये negative area है. So minus 15 into 20. And the last triangle, ये छोटा वाला, इसका एरिया कितना है बताओ मुझे. What is 16 minus t star? 4 seconds. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So half into 4 into 20. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So half into 4 into 20. Half into 4 into 20. लेकिन ये माइनस है. Now solve this and tell me what is x50.
So 837.5.
83
7.5.
पॉजिटिव या निगेटिव?
So positive.
पक्का?
Yes, sir.
How much is this? 20. 60. Possible. So 837.5 feet. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
But I am not interested in x50. I am interested in change in position from x equal to 22 seconds to 50 seconds. So I am interested in delta x from 22 seconds to 50 seconds. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
And what is that? It is x at 50, which is at 37.5 minus X at 22. What is X at 22? Tell me.
126.
1260. So tell me how much is that?
So minus 422.5.
Which was obvious because the particle started moving in reverse direction. Minus 44, 422.5
422.5.
feet. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
But what do we have to calculate? We have to calculate the total distance traveled d during 0 to 50 seconds. And I said it is going to be the summation of moduli of change in position from 0 to 22 second and 22 to 50 seconds. So it is modulus of 1800. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Plus modulus of minus 422.5. So tell me how much is that?
So 4 times 2.
2, 2, 2, 2.5. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Feet. So we have computed the total distance traveled. Concept वही use किया है, सिर्फ we have used the concept that area under velocity time diagram is change in position from T1 to T2. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
हाँ, integration का concept graphically use किया है. So this is also called as graphical method of solving the parameters of rectilinear motion. Now we will deal with the third part in tomorrow's class. थोड़ा सा पेशेंस से करना पड़ता है, but as we will solve one or two problems, you will understand this. So for today, let us stop here. Write down your name and roll number in chat box. If you have any doubt, you can raise it now.